Is it better if I come?
What's that, Lois? We can hear you. Ok-
I'm saying, should I run down there or?
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're
I
okay.
mean, I didn't know it was also in person or I would have been there.
It's okay. Call to order the November 18th Communications Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufko.
Yes, here.
I have Member Wiggy. Here. Member Truman, who's online.
Here?
Member Craig Pennington. I have Member Rod Wright,
Here.
and then Chairman Gould.
Here. Great. So the next up is the approval of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at it, understand what's going on tonight? And okay, if without any objections, I will approve that by acclamation. And then, so the next item is citizen comments. Anybody in the audience or online have,
No, we
Any
don't have
comments?
anyone online.
okay. Close citizen comments and get into,
I
oh,
can't find my hand.
okay.
I need to say something right here.
In the citizen comments or in your,
Say, I would, it's a citizen. I'm a
okay,
citizen.
okay.
I'm Lois Truman at 8710 Rosalie Avenue. Yesterday, I was at Wild Nails right across from Time for Dinner and all of that place. I don't know the address. And I looked over and Fox 2 News was over there. And I was getting a pedicure, so I couldn't get up and do anything or check anything out. But I'm just wondering, is there anything about them checking with our communications at all as a courtesy, or they just show up and do whatever they want to do and we have no idea until it hits the news? I mean, I have no idea what they were doing. They had the tripod set up. I mean, their
Yeah.
main tripod, and
They
I didn't actually see them interviewing anybody out there. It looked like they were just photographing that contested area.
they did not reach out.
No,
They did not reach out to me or the city for any sort of comment. But at present, given that it's ongoing, we're not commenting. So that's not to stop any businesses from making comments, but
Technically, we don't know what that
Correct.
might have been. The news can report the news wherever they
Right.
need to, when that news might be something else, so.
and to my knowledge, nothing has come across. There's no story has aired as of yet based on any interviews they did yesterday. I keep pretty close tabs on our Google alerts.
yesterday around noon.
Okay,
Got it.
Noontime yesterday, Fox 2 News. Okay.
I'll keep an eye out.
thank you. So the next up is report of the committee chair. I have no report. Alderman Plufka,
No report.
Member Weggie.
No report.
Lois, do you have a report? Okay. Craig Pennington, any report? Rod Wright?
None for me.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to, next item on the agenda is city administrator report, but I don't see a city administrator report. Is that correct? Okay. So then we get on to department report. And so, Michelle, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so as usual for the department report, we have our social media analytics. You should all have been able to kind of review that report. Our totals across all of our platforms, I am very happy with our numbers. We're seeing pretty great increase across the board. Video views, we're still continuing to kind of hone our craft in that area. So I'm anticipating seeing some uptick in those numbers as we continue to kind of work on those efforts. I did put a note in here because it was something that was brought to my attention through our scheduling platform, which is Sprout Social, was that Meta apparently recently had some some technological issue that could affect our historical counts. But overall, we're not seeing any dips or anything like that. So I am pretty confident that we're in okay and we weren't too badly affected by whatever their technological issue was. You can see in our monthly numbers, we've seen, again, some good growth, a little bit of a dip in engagement and post-link clicks. But our video views shot up. So we are very excited about that. Weekly numbers, it was a little bit of a slower week. So, but we're coming into the holiday season, so I anticipate some good growth on that. Also, our good old friend, the elf from Brentwood, is prepping his sleigh to return to the city. So we'll be seeing some good engagement on that. I'm kind of excited to kind of take that for a second year and kind of build on what we did last year. Again, hoping to really start incorporating some good videos for the elf. And overall, our takeaways, looking at our year-to-date numbers, engagement and impressions has grown, and we're seeing, improved performance and reach across the board. Our engagement remains strong for our monthly numbers. Clicks decreased, but you never know what could cause that. But video content, we're seeing continued success with that. Overall, steady growth. So I'm very pleased with where we're at for our social media numbers.
Great. And with the videos you've been doing with staff, how has that been received on the staff side?
No one is
They
forced.
enjoy it?
Yeah, there's obviously people who are more, some are willing, some just aren't comfortable with it, and that's absolutely okay. I think our first round of it I've kind of hit that first round of people who are willing to participate, so we may have to take a little bit of a break for the holidays, which is fine. And then I'm hoping to kind of re-up the effort after the first of the year and maybe give our videos a little bit of a new format, refresh them a little bit. But overall, our audience seems to really respond to those, which it's doing exactly what I intended for them to do. It is helping people put a face to the name of the people that they probably are seeing or interacting with the most. It's not the people who necessarily are behind the doors of City Hall. It's the people who are out on the streets, out in the parks, who they're seeing day in and day out. So I'm very happy with the performance of those videos, and I look forward to continuing that effort. Like I said, we may take a little bit of a pause as the holiday season kind of ramps up. Things get busy. We have a lot more content to push out there, and then revamping it again as we delve into 2026. So I've got a couple more weeks worth of videos stashed up, and then I'll hope to kind of build back up our database or our queue of videos as throughout December, so that once we hit January, we're good to go again.
Other comments? Questions on anything?
And again, I included links to our successful posts. I think that's a little more efficient.
Great. Everything's looking really good. Okay, so the next on the agenda is the consent agenda. That's the meeting minutes from our September meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those? If so, and entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Consent agenda is approved. That moves to old business, the updates on logo and branding project. And, this is a lot of effort that has been put forth on Michelle and other folks on staff. And just as a reminder to everybody, we sort of reset the goals for this, and then Michelle's going to take us through where this stands, and there's no action necessarily; it's more for information for you all tonight. So just give us an update, Michelle.
It was a very collaborative effort. Alderman Gould was critical in us getting, he has done this type of work before, so he was kind of a crucial tool, if you'll say, that we were able to kind of call upon to help us really hone where we ended up with this RFQ. And I think it's a really robust and complete document that I anticipate we will get a good number of really quality responses to. We really tried to focus on those community engagement aspects that we felt were a little lacking our first time around. And so I'm really looking forward to releasing this. Our go date, if you will be December 1st. Since that does kind of overlap with the holidays, we are giving a pretty ample amount of time for responses, and we are asking for responses by January 15th. And then we'll kind of focus on next steps in terms of evaluating the responses and then moving forward.
It's not out yet, correct?
No, it will be issued on December 1st.
Because I have some nitpicky things that I saw that if it's appropriate to address, I can.
Do we want to just have those sent?
Yeah, why don't you, if you don't mind, if you just send Michelle and Bola and myself a
Yeah.
email with them, especially if they're just
Yeah.
little
Grammar.
clerical grammar
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Some of them are bigger issues.
Okay, all right.
For example, if I was reading.
Rod.
I'm sorry.
There you
If I was reading it and didn't know better, it looks like the city is, and maybe this was the intent, but pretty, excuse the pun, warmly embracing City of Warmth. And it's not until the third page that it's pretty clear that that's something that needs to be evaluated. And I was going to
Well, no, I
suggest.
think the beginning part is really to give people a background of what the city is about and
That's
and
correct.
is currently. And then you get into and we're not putting a stake in the ground in this RFQ on whether or not the tagline should be replaced or not. We were looking for an honest evaluation of it, which then within the scope of whoever we might select, then they might be able to bring us some.
And I was going to suggest just what you said occur earlier in the RFQ.
Yeah.
Because there's kind of a presumption when you read it that's a given.
Which page are you referring to, if you have it up?
The first page, which mentions it a couple of times, I think. Brentwood is known as the city
So
of
as the
warmth.
introduction.
Right.
So in most of these documents, and I'm sure you've seen quite a few of them, you talk
Again,
about
this
the
is
city.
nitpicky, but I would
Yeah.
say that the tagline has been City of Warmth, and as you'll read later, that's something that needs to be evaluated.
Well, but there's a place for that within the document. I think what we're trying to accomplish with the introduction is just to give them a sense of who we are, what we're trying to do.
I
I'll
understand that. I
defer
was
to-
just
I'll
thinking it
defer
would
to-
be cleared
committee.
up to kind of mention that as one of the objectives earlier than in page 3.
I don't, so I think in the introduction, you wanted, what that is just stating facts. It's not until what a potential partner is going to look at is the scope of work. And the very first thing of the scope of work, it says that the deliverables would be conducting an evaluation. Number 2 would be, development of the city logo variations, incorporation, or development of the new city tagline. So it's outlined in the scope of work, which
No,
I
I
think is where it's important.
I understand that. I guess what I'm saying, and maybe it's because of my own biases, that there's kind of a presumption built in that that's a given, even though later it addresses that. I'm just saying if it were me, I'd want to address that up front. The other things are kind of nitpicky. As someone that's responded to a lot of these, I found the insurance requirements to be perhaps templates or boilerplate taken from construction projects. And those insurance requirements are going to be prohibitive to 2- and 3-person shops that do graphic design and do this kind of work. A lot of people aren't carrying $3 million of insurance if they're a 2 or 3 person shop. So I was going to suggest that if you're interested in responses from people that are kind of sole proprietor with a couple of people on staff, that's going to keep them from bidding.
We'll talk to the city
So,
attorney about
so
that.
that in my mind needed to be looked at too.
Okay.
I think that's a good point, because we did make sure that we weren't, in the language, we wanted to make sure that we weren't biased to bigger agencies, right? We're open to smaller shops and.
Yeah, and we had 20 employees and had trouble maintaining that kind of level of insurance, and I'm sure a 2 and 3 person shop's gonna have trouble with that. What they'll end up saying is what we ended up saying on higher amounts is that if we get the work, we're gonna, we'll get it.
Yeah.
But then again, that costs the city more money. I mean, you're forcing people to pay money for insurance that they don't currently have, and that's gonna incur a cost.
I think that's fair. We'll have staff take a look at it with the city attorney one more time and see if that is something that can be adjusted or removed. Any other comments? Back? So the timing of this, do you want to explain some of that? We're releasing it on December 1st.
1. And then we will respond to any questions throughout the process, and as they come in, and then we will close it at 5 p.m. on January 15th. And then once it is closed, we will determine our, how we will review them, and we'll probably do that ahead of time so we're ready to go. Yeah, and then we'll start the review process, and we'll keep the committee apprised of where we're at, how many responses we get, and then we'll begin the evaluation process and determine if interviews are a necessary step and continue moving forward with the process.
Wonderful.
And I'm looking at my notes. The other really substantive comment I had was there was a line that speculative creative concepts are not being requested. What that means is you're going to get them from some and not from others. And if I had written the RFP, I would have said speculative creative concepts will not be accepted. You either want them or you don't want them.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Okay. Lois, I'm sorry.
Comment.
Go ahead, Lois.
Okay, sorry. I've worked on a lot of contracts type of thing with the government, and I agree with the fact that you give the background first, as is, what is in place now, which is what you're doing, and
Uh-oh. I think you froze up.
then in the scope of work as mentioned. So I think that's not a sticking point. I think that's how most contracts or RFPs or whatever are written.
Okay, yeah, you were breaking up a little bit, I think what I heard you say, and just to make sure I verify, that you're fine with the way that it introduces the city with the facts in the beginning, but then outlines the scope of work, details later. Okay,
Yeah, that's how multiple contracts that I've had to work on have been.
Alderman Plufka.
Yeah, so can you go through the process again? Are you suggesting that that staff will present, like, let's say we get 4 applications to this RFQ, we will only see the one that you recommend, or we won't, or will
Always
we?
bring everything back.
Okay,
There is a recommendation, but then we include in the packet every response that the city received.
okay, so we'll get a chance to see the ones necessarily that you don't recommend.
Absolutely.
Very good, thanks.
And we are paying attention. There's a neighboring city that's going through this process right now. We based some of the structure of the RFQ on some of what they had done, as well as looking at others, and they received very good response. So we're hoping to see the same. Anything else before we move on? Excited to get this out in the world. All right. We're going to move on to item 2 of old business, which is the RFQ for on-call crisis communication consulting services. Want to give us an update on that?
So this is informational. We drafted the attached RFQ for an on-call crisis communications consultant who hopefully we won't need to use. But better safe than sorry. So if you have any feedback or anything, feel free to send that our way. We don't have a strict timeline at this point about when we're issuing that. So once we know that, we'll keep you informed of those decisions.
Okay, great. So this is just being proactive to get it in place for next fiscal year sometime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and not to talk a lot, but I really like that that's going out. And I thought the RFQ was clear about this, but in my mind, the real issue is when you need these folks, you need them.
Right.
So, you know, and so if it's a 1 or 2 person shop, I'm wondering if they can bid with someone as backup. And I thought they could, but that wasn't excluded. But, you know, the problem with a 1 or 2 person shop is they may be in vacation when you need them and there's nobody to help, and you need somebody that can, on a moment's notice, provide the help that you're looking for. And
A good input, we will consider that in our evaluation of the responses. Thank you.
Out of curiosity, what's the timing?
What do you all feel?
You know, there's really nothing that keeps us from issuing it now. So we probably, after this meeting, Michelle and I can discuss it and mirror the same timeline for the RFQ.
December 1.
Yes, yes, we could mirror that.
I don't see why not. There's
Yeah.
no reason to hold it up.
No.
I mean, do most municipalities have someone like this? Like, I mean, I think it's needed, but I'm just curious what our neighbors are doing.
I can't speak to what they're doing. However, I do know that in the city of Brentwood, during my tenure, we have had to use an individual of this nature at least twice. So we find value in it, and not to brag about Brentwood, some of our projects that we undertake also require assistance to make sure we're getting out the right information. And, you know, we are just perfectly located, we like to think. As Lois indicated, Fox was in town yesterday. We get calls repeatedly, and Michelle is up to the task. But on occasion, we need assistance, and it's great to be able to rely on people and not just listserv to talk to peers. How'd you handle this? We need someone on the ground immediately to assist us, and
And there's no, with these type of on-call partnerships that we have, you know, we have them in other areas of local government. There's no cost to them until you need them. Is that correct?
to cover that expense when you need them, whether it's communication, whether it's engineering, you know, whether it's transportation, whether it's attorneys.
And the benefit of having somebody that you've contracted with, you get a guaranteed rate and all of that. Is that right? Okay.
well, and during the middle of a crisis, city staff doesn't have to come to a Board of Aldermen meeting and ask for authorization, and that to me, you know, is critical. In school communications, there's people in, for example, if it happened in Missouri, there's people in Missouri School Public Relations Association that just show up to help. But I don't think networks like that exist in the city. You know, this is an extreme example, but when the tornado hit Joplin, people literally drove there the minute they heard it hit. And some of the school communicators spent a week trying to help them deal with the national media. That's the kind of, you know, 99 times out of 100, you don't need that kind of help, but it's good to have it when you do need it, at least in my view.
Sure, that's good. Yeah, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't just get this out there in the same timeline. Okay, any other comments, feedback? Lois, you have your hand up. Is that from something else or?
Yes, no, I want to say, does that counseling. I know a lot of times in these emergency situations, we don't have qualified counselors. I'm thinking, I mean, Gary is trained. I'm a licensed counselor. I don't know if we have anybody like that that could be called on in cases of emergency.
We do.
That was another thing we might need.
City's health benefits.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Good.
Okay,
Whoops.
yep, that's all good. All right, and there's no new business, right? Okay, so open it up one more time for citizen comments. Any other folks have joined, if, and having it right?
I have another question though about business.
Okay, what topic?
The banners. Just wanted to know the status of the school and the city banners, pole banners going up.
Michelle, do you want to?
So the policy is in place. The school district knows that the policy is in place and it has been sent to them. They have not expressed any interest in funding any banners of their own. I am working to create banners so that we've got banners up on those poles
City-owned.
more regularly. Those are city-funded banners. So the opportunity is there, and we welcome anybody who is interested from the schools.
I'll talk to you after. I'm on the communications committee for the school, and I got a different response, so I'll talk
okay.
to you afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Great, all right, sounds good. So seeing no further business, this meeting is adjourned.